Go right ahead. That little rock is trying to hide from me. It's trying to hide from me. If I'm ever bored in bed, I put nails on. I have nails on. It is 9:45. I've been in bed asleep basically since yesterday, since I got home from my ER. At about 3 or 4 o'clock today, my right ear, I guess, finally ruptured. I have pinhole ears in both my eardrums, so they leak a lot. But at about 3 or 4, my right ear finally gave way, and a whole bunch of drainage came out. The pressure in my head is doing better. The only thing is that the antibiotics make me very sick. So I'm not eating a whole lot. I'm trying to eat a lot of yogurt because antibiotics. Hello, women. We all know why we are eating yogurt. Let me move this thing right here so I don't break him. I didn't get out of bed until I had to make David dinner. So, oh, I hate these idiots that come in here. Hang on, let me ditch people. I'm trying to find on my YouTube studio how to change this, but my attention span has been about like this for the last 2 days, so. Yes, it's Freddie Mercury on my arm. It's Brian May here and Freddie Mercury there, and then I've got a big Freddie Mercury here singing into his microphone. Yeah. Got a lot of ink. So anyway, the antibiotic is absolutely not doing me any favors. Well, I mean, it's getting rid of the ear issues and the mastoiditis crap, but oh my gosh, it's rough on me. I don't do well with antibiotics. My color is better today, I want to add. Still have huge rings under my eyes, but my color is better today. I've had a lot of emails and a lot of well, you gotta take care of your husband. He works and takes care of me, so I got up and made him some dinner. It wasn't much of a dinner. I didn't eat it. It was chicken. It was I don't know what the actual name of it was. It's chicken breast, and then sliced potatoes with the seasonings and chives, and mixed with cream cheese and feta cheese. And then you lay Colby Jack over it and let it melt over the potatoes. It was not a healthy diet dinner at all, but he had done a lot today and walked a lot today, so I let him eat what he wanted to eat, and I put the rest up for his lunch tomorrow because I'm literally eating yogurt. So yogurt and coconut popsicles. That's all I'm eating. I've gotten a lot of emails and messages, and I appreciate everybody sending emails and messages and your thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate it. My body seems to be fighting better this time. Maybe it's where I've lost all the weight and I've been pushing myself to get healthier, and so my body's able to respond a little bit better. Weakness overall, I'm not doing well. I've got a lot of weakness. So I think my nurse is going to try to see me tomorrow because I need to be seen by somebody tomorrow per the ER doctor. But I don't think I have the ability to do a 2-hour wait stand in the doctor's office. I don't. And honestly, as irritated as I am at them, I don't think it would be probably a very good thing for me right now to do. So I'm pretty sure I'd probably not say nice words. So I'm just going to say I'm not conducive to society. And my nurse is already like, I'll bring you another shot out and we'll keep you going. Because the ER physician gave me the right antibiotic, but he gave me a very low dose of it, and I need a higher dose for this mastoiditis. Now, a lot of you are confused why I have mastoiditis. I have mastoiditis not because I have like I don't clean my ears. I have mastoiditis because when I went to the ENT surgeon the first time I had it, he did CTs and MRIs, and I have ears that have extra bones. They're not made correctly. They have extra bones and extra bone marrow, which makes the drainage to the eustachian tubes very difficult. And on this one, it's almost blocked. They can't fix them because he's like, I don't even know how I begin to restructure your ears. Like, it's not fixable. We're just going to have to be very careful with you. So I can go to the ENT, and like he can like help with drainage and stuff. But as far as the mastoiditis, it's as soon as I feel it, we have to get antibiotics in me and start immediately, because it can go to meningitis really, really quick. So that's why it was so important for me to have that shot Friday, even though I couldn't get it. So I got it Saturday morning. So it's not that it's not, I'm still swollen over here. Do you see when this side pushes pressure over here, this is the side that swells. I look like a droopy dog. It's just stupid. I just look like a droopy dog. Someone else had said she may need to be careful about her mullein, because the hairs on I don't smoke mullein. I don't smoke anything because I have a scarred left lung from a pepper spray incident and a jail riot. Retired parole officer. That's a story for another day. The mullein syrup is made from the flowers only, and you wash them and dry them, and then you mix them with water and sugar, mostly sugar, and then at the end with a little bit of water. So I don't use the leaves, which have the little silica hairy things on them. So that's not a problem that I'm dealing with. That's not an issue. Around here, that's like kindergarten level knowledge. As you grow up in the woods, that's just kindergarten level knowledge. So the syrup is made from the flowers, not from the leaves. People smoke the leaves for respiratory issues, but for coughs and like stuff up here and throats, it's the flower is what holds the medicine for that. And you have to wash them and dry them, and you have to still be careful, but they're not as bad as the leaves. Oh, I'll be done here in just a minute, but I wanted to show you my best friend when I have drainage issues is this little roller I got from Temu. And this is what I do to make my eustachian tube freaking work. It hurts and I'm sore, especially right here. It's not good, but it does make it drain a little bit. But like I said, at around 3 or 4 of the day, my eardrum did rupture, and so I got a lot of fluid out. No, it doesn't hurt as bad for me because both my eardrums have pinhole leaks in them where they've ruptured before, so they rupture a lot when I have fluid. My ears are not made correctly. I'm special. Or I don't know, I'm a defect. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is I wish the swelling would go away so my eye would open up. It would be lovely. It'd be lovely to have both eyes. I feel like droopy dog. Fluid is coming off of me really good. I'm trying to open my eye. Fluid is coming off of me really good. Ever since about 4, the ear has been draining. It's improving. But I know with the kidneys and stuff, with the fluid that's coming off of me, I still have a lot more days ahead of me to be very careful. So, because I feel so bad and I don't need to, I'm so compromised right now with my disorder. And if I were to go into a place with sick people, I'd probably catch everything. My nurse is like, I'm going to call in the morning and get you a shot. If they don't give me a shot tomorrow, she's like, I'm going to flip out on somebody. So she's going to come back out and dart me because the dosage of the ER doctor, it was the right antibiotic, but it was too low of a dosage. So I need a higher dosage. And so she's just going to keep that therapeutic dosage in me for about a week. And then hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday, I'll be able to go into the doctor. And then we're going to have coming to Jesus. So it's not going to be a pleasant visit. We're going to have a coming to Jesus. So, but I've been basically asleep. Literally the 20 minutes I felt good that I wasn't asleep, I put on these nails because I felt like dog crap, and this makes me feel less like dog crap. Don't ask me why. It doesn't make sense. But that's what happened. So I appreciate the emails, the messages, everybody trying to help. I do a lot of homeopathic crap and natural crap anyway. It's just the way you're raised here. But But the mastoiditis, because it does go so close to the brainstem, that's why it's so dangerous. And so I can't do a lot of homeopathic stuff when this happens. I have to go to a stupid antibiotic that guts me. I hate antibiotics. I'm allergic to the majority of them. This is the one I'm not allergic to, and it still hates me. Hates me a lot. So I'm getting ready for bed. I'm wearing my home free shirt because I used to keep this behind glass until I found out that Tim Faust was a diehard Democrat. And then I was like, dang it, everybody I like is an idiot. I still like Tim Faust. I think personally he's a nice guy. I just think politically he's an idiot. I'm allowed to think that. But he was kind enough when I did therapy for kids with addiction that he and his mother sent a signed picture and a letter for the kids in the graduating class. I thought that was really sweet. So this has they all signed it. I was afraid I'd wash it out, but they all signed it. I've had it for like 7 years. I've never worn it. And I went, yeah, I'm going to wear that. I don't care anymore. Austin Brown got married. Anyway, I like Home Free. I liked them when they were on that show. God, what was it? Frig. Anyway, it was a show that Joel and one of the Motown Philly boys. God, my brain is not working. Anyway, they judged it, and they won and got so much money in a contract to do an album, and they've toured. And I was lucky enough to see him at the Tennessee Theater. I love to listen to him sing. I don't necessarily like when they do political rants on stage, but I can kind of shut my ears and just try to appreciate their music. I don't mind difference of opinions, but like they told someone in the audience they were stupid. I was like, dude, that's not cool. Because you got to keep it professional and then do personal on your own time, you know? That's what I had to do when I worked. So I'm just putting on my bedtime stuff. I swear by these collagen things. If you don't try them, if you don't use them or haven't tried them, go to Temu and buy them. Holy crap, they're amazing. I even have enough left over to put on my tattoos and my elbows. And I'm fixing to go to bed. And I'm hoping to feel like taking a shower in the morning. It was 72 here today. That helped. It's supposed to be 72 here again tomorrow. And I'm hoping I feel a whole lot better tomorrow after another injection. Well, after the initial green spell after the injection. So, but I'm better, except for you can still I'm swollen. So I've still got pressure pushing, but it's better. I don't feel the pain intracranially. I just can tell it's still in there. So when this eye decides to open back up, we will know that we're making progress. Right now, we're holding the line, but when this starts to go away, we know we're making progress. It's weird because if you hit one side of the brain, the other side swells. And so if this ear is one that hurts, this is the side that swells. If this ear is, this is the side. It's so, the brain is bifurcated and it's so weird. Like only like 4% of people can like use both sides of the brains at the same time. Anyway, I'm on a psychobabble, but it's so weird that when you strike one side, it's the other side that swells. Or if you have an infection, it's the other side. It's like make room. It's like I'll make room for you to swell, and it pushes out. It's so weird. But I do feel better. I stood up long enough to make a very quick dinner, so I'm doing better. Yeah, this is a very serious condition because it can turn into meningitis really quickly because this mastoid bone is so close to your neck and your brainstem, and it's so easy for the infection to just transfer. And so the moment that I feel an earache or pressure, I have to get, and I feel the bones now, it's not a big bulb today. It's a bone and then a flat spot and then a bone. So I don't have the big knot here today, which is a good sign. But it's so easy for that to go straight into, and I mean, just get right into your spinal cord, and it's scary. So that's why it was so serious, and that's why I was so mad at my doctor's office being a complete dip doodle trying to lie to hide that they were open when they legally shouldn't have been open, but making me feel like I was crazy and my nurse was crazy. And then we found out, well, they didn't have an NP or a doctor there. They were just running allergy shots and lab work. They shouldn't have been open at all per Tennessee state law. And so that's why I couldn't get my shot order signed. I have a standing order, but when they load the shot, my doctor has to sign off before they can hand it over to my at-home nurse. Well, there was no one that could do that. So they kept saying, we can't do that. We can do this, or we can do that, and I was like, you're driving me nuts. So we tried for like 5 hours Friday to get a shot. The girl that talked to me that kept putting me in circles, her name was Chanel. So me and Chanel are going to have a coming to Jesus when I go to the office. Because if they just told me what was going on, I would have probably just gone to the ER Friday. But when you have at-home standing orders and your nurse is supposed to be able to take care of you, you're like, okay, well, they'll get the doctor to sign it eventually. Well, they should have told me there was no doctor there. It would have changed my attack plan. But people, they're driven by finances and not by empathy or loyalty or truth. So, lesson of the day: don't trust anyone named Chanel. So, oh, I know. We're pretty soon they're going to be like doing plop plop, and there it is, and you won't know what they're sending and how it's getting to you. But yeah, that's why I try to avoid the doctor, and I take the least amount of medicine possible because I don't like the doctor. I don't think their medicines are good anymore. If there's a natural remedy out there that's better, I'm taking it. And that's why I took a chance on the Monjaro, because I've lost, I'm like 60 pounds lighter, and I've gotten off of my blood pressure medicine and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's like, okay, that was a good decision. But I also don't want to be on the Monjaro more than 1 year, because that's when per test and stuff, that's when it can start having negative consequences in the body. So I'm trying to get as much off by August, September. I started mid-August. So August, September is when I'm hoping to stop. So, but I've got enough off me that my body's doing better and I'm healing faster and I'm doing overall better. But this was basically weather, because we had 2 30 to 40 degree temp drops inside of a week, and it's too much on my body. It's just, and RSD is an inflammation. Like anytime you get an RSD flare, you just swell. And so when I go into flare and it's been like a 30 to 40 degree temp drop and it makes my ears weak, the RSD will attack the weak spot. So it attacked my ears. And I had some really bad headaches when Sabrina was here, but I was like, well, maybe I'm just overdoing it, because I had no ear pain. I didn't have ear pain until like 4 days in. And then I was like, oh crap, I'm got to get this taken care of. So, I just have to be very aware. And that's another reason I don't like to take a lot of medicine, because I want to know what my body's doing. I want to be aware of what my body's doing. I want to feel what my body's doing. And I just don't trust a lot of medicines that augment the way that you can communicate with your body. I don't at all. Do I have a nebulizer? I don't have a nebulizer. I do have an inhaler if I need it, but I rarely need it. This is just because my ears are deformed. I have like twice the bones and twice the bone marrow, so there's literally not a lot of space for drainage. And I had like really bad ear issues as a teenager, and I saw an Amish doctor, and I didn't have a lot of issues there for a while because I had migraines and a lot of ear issues, and my mom took me to an Amish doctor, and I did really good for 3 or 4 years. And but I think probably that was the first time my ears are starting to have problems, because as you grow, everything else grows and changes as well. So that was probably my first, and it was just they had never sent me to an ENT specialist. They just always said, oh, she's prone to earaches. Oh, she's been knocked out by cattle and been run over by horses and rolled over by everything, and smashed up against barn walls. And, this is just a consequence of all the trauma. Well, okay, would you tell a football player that? No, probably not. But that's what they kept telling my family because I worked livestock and stuff. So, but the ENT did figure it out a few years ago. And so I've got my CTs and MRIs, and he was like, your ears, he's like, I've never ever seen anyone of the ears like this. He said, I can't correct it because he's like, I would have to literally remove like a third to a half of what's in your ear. And he said, there's no way I could reconstruct it. He said, I can't even put tubes in because your ears don't drain correctly. The tubes will not fit. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do? And he said, monitor your ears very carefully. And the first time you have an earache, go to your doctor. So he was very nice. And he was an old rodeo bumpkin from like Iowa or Idaho that had moved into this area. And so he understood. Like I have a deviated septum where I was headbutted by a bull when I was 17. I was halter breaking. He took out my 4 front teeth. These are fake. And he broke my nose, but he deviated my septum. And so I have a deviated septum, which doesn't help in any of this with the drainage. So if anything has to come out this ear, it normally has to work through this sinus cavity and come out this nostril. TMI, I know, but that's how it works. So probably the bull headbutt me didn't help. But I've had ear problems ever since I was young. It's just the doctors never did any scans of my ears until the last 3 years. David's over here doing a dance, and you're missing out. It's hilarious. He does this when I get online. He tries to make me laugh. But just really honestly, I have deformed ears. Yay me. And it's just going to be something I deal with. So I appreciate it. But getting hit in the ear is bad because it hurts. Getting hit smack in the face hurts too. And that freaking bull became a steer, and then he became burger. And we served him at this because I helped the agricultural school that I went to. I helped him purchase the first herd of limousine cattle. And so I got to pick the bull that I wanted to break to show for the school. And it was between two. And I picked the one that I thought had a better capacity to grow. He had a deeper chest and he had better shoulders. And he was doing fine. And I was taking him 2 5-gallon buckets of water like 5 or 6 times a day to let him drink. But I was teaching him to straight tie to the center beam of the barn. And he was leading. He was behaving. He hadn't been mean. I thought, well, he's actually kind of sweet. And I let my guard down for a half second. It's my fault. I knew better. My dad's a blacksmith. I grew up in horse barns and cattle farms. I knew better. They'll kill you as soon as look at you. I knew better. And I went to sling those 2 buckets down in front of him. And when I did, he slung his head up and caught me with the pole of his head and just took everything, just pushed it all up in my gums and broke a couple. And then my nose was broken, although all I did was pull it back down. And then I went and washed my mouth out I pumped the water at the trough and washed my mouth out, spit the blood out, made sure I didn't lose any teeth, fed the heifers, went home, and my mother promptly freaked out. And I had to go see a doctor by the name of Dr. Selectman. And he had to redo my teeth, and they didn't hold, so I ended up having to get a plate. They would not give me the ones that bolted into the skull because they was afraid I'd get hurt again, and then it would break my skull because I am the heifer that cannot stay off horses and cattle. That was back in my skinnier days before this disorder. So after the leg surgeries, I gained so much weight from the surgeries and steroids and surgeries and steroids and surgeries and steroids. And so now that's what I'm trying to lose because I've never been – I've been like an Amazon freaking stacked woman my whole life, but I've never been this just fat. And so I'm trying to lose all that weight I gained from the surgeries. So, and I'm doing pretty good, but doggone it, this ear ain't cooperating. So, yeah, my dad was a blacksmith, so I don't remember a time I wasn't in a horse barn or riding horses or helping Dad shoe or looking for kittens in the hayloft or, that's the... Your sister has a deformed ear. Well, tell her I have 2, and we need to have a support group. We can have a support group for deformed ear people. I'll be the president since I have two, and she can be the vice president. But I mean, I do feel better, but it's as you can see, I'm still swollen, so it's gonna be a while. But I do feel better. I needed a bigger dose of antibiotics, so my nurse is going to take care of that tomorrow. And then I'm hoping maybe by midweek I feel like actually getting into the doctor's office, because I'm going to preach a sermon. I may bring my own soapbox to stand on. Everybody's going to hear me. Oh, I have a nephew named Micah. Oh, it just popped in. Okay, when I do this is too much. I know listen, I'm a tomboy. I don't even care. But when I do that, I can suck wind down. It's the weirdest thing. And if it's full, it squeaks like a mouse. It's like, ee, and it's like, God. So, yeah. So a lot of this that works through here has to come through my sinus. And that's why I think my sinuses also stay so irritated. She's 4'11". She's a tiny little thing. Okay, Scully, I will. Dark. Okay, I'll look at that. But I'm alive. I really want to shower. But where it's been 72 and it dips down to the 50 or upper 40s at night, I know better than to tick off my ears. So I'm going to wait and take one in the morning when it warms up before David goes to work. And that way maybe I won't. Oh, it's draining. That way maybe I won't irritate my ears. Oh my gosh, it's just poured now. So maybe tomorrow I'll feel like doing that. I do the suction thing too to pull crap out. It's draining. So that's all good. It's all good signs. It's moving. So as long as it's not going back here, it's coming. I'm okay with that. Oh, honey, I used to work chicken houses, and I hated it because 6 to 8 weeks, and they're grown and ready to go on a truck, and you only get paid for what lives, so you treat them like they're made out of gold. But around the 4 week, they pin feathers, and if you don't wear a mask, you have to go out and just blow a snot rocket, and it'll be pin feathers, and I grew up on working farms, like doing men jobs, so it was lovely. But they wouldn't always leave me a respirator mask. And so we had 21,000 in that house. I took care of 3 houses. We had 21,000 in that one house, and they were at the pin feather stage, which is, it's just like walking through ostrich feather fluff. It's just nasty. And you have to go in twice a day, you have to pick up the dead and make sure your feed's working and your water lines are working and all that crap. And when they're babies, make sure the brooders are working. But wading through 21,000 chickens, doing about 4 or 5 runs back and through the house, you get a lot of stuff in your nose, and you just have to go outside and it was so funny because the one boyfriend that offered to help me with the chicken houses, he made it about 10 minutes in the chicken house and then had to get out the door. He couldn't do it. And I came out after doing, an hour's worth of work, and he's standing outside like I couldn't take it. I couldn't breathe in there. And I'm like, well, we keep it warm because they grow best in warm temperatures. But I was covered in pin feathers and just had a blow. It's not him. He just looked at me, and I was like, listen, dude, you offered help. This is what it entails. If you don't like this side of me, go away. And we didn't last very long. He asked to ride my horse, and I said, I don't let idiots on my horse. So we didn't last very long. But yeah, that smell. It smells like ammonia. And I'll have you know, from where I worked in chicken houses, and I have such a sensitive nose to ammonia. Did you know that as a parole officer, I found out that meth smells so similar to ammonia, but it's got a sweeter hang, and it hangs, instead of the ammonia from a chicken house that hangs here, it hangs right back on the drop off of your nose back there. And it's got a very specific twang at the end. And so we could literally drive down roads, or we could stop at people's houses, and I'd be like, I'm going to go in here, there's an active meth lab. And my co-officers would be like, what? Well, after about 4 successful times of me sniffing them out, they would say, can you go with me on home visit day because your nose works? And I'm like, okay, yeah. I could tell by the mares that were in foal, just by going in to clean their stall and smearing the urine, I'd be like, she's close. She's within 48 or 72 hours. We need to put a camera in her stall and watch her. I've always had like a bloodhound nose, but it's got, as I have these problems, it gets even more sensitive. So I don't know. I'm just weird. I'm just weird. Can you see the tattoo on my arm? It's Freddie Mercury, and it's got the pizza light oven that they used in their concerts, and it's got him holding the mic. And we had more work to do to it, but the tattoo artist that did it, and he corrected a lot of my stuff. I've got my granddaughter's name here, and then I've got Chris Cornell's signature here. I've got Brian May here, which Brian has turned into a turd in his old age. Just be nice, Brian. I have the Mercury sign here. I have Freddie and a Q here with a crayon. I have a Phoebe bird here because I'm really good friends with Peter Freestone. If you know who Peter Freestone is, Phoebe. We talk to each other quite a bit, keep up with each other. We both have had a lot of health issues this year. It's been really weird. I'm waiting to lose weight before I do the inside of my bicep. But I've got to do my elbow cap too. But it's going to be the Soundgarden Bad Motorfinger album cover. It's going to be a turd. So I'm going to have like a really good health few months before I do that. But I've got half of my back done prison house style because I was a parole officer, and they would all come out and say, oh, it hurts so much to get it done in prison house style. So I knew a guy that had served 10 years in prison. I'd known him since kindergarten. I was like, you still got your prison house gun? He's like, oh yeah. I was like, okay. I'll get the needles and I'll get the paint. I'll get the ink, And I was like, you do a prison house tat on my back? And he was like, sure. Because we've been friends our whole life. And I wouldn't recommend him to everybody, but I'd known him since kindergarten, so I had a pretty good grasp on who he was. And so I have a horse head and a lariat rope and stars on my back, but I also have, it says, one joy scatters 100 griefs. And then I have some tribal crap back there. So as I wear summer clothes, I'm sure y'all will get to see some of that. So, and then I have others that I'm not going to be sharing. Don't even ask about that. But I left my right arm free because I was still, once you get your master's degree and you're doing counseling and stuff, you pretty much can't be fired. You're needed so much. And if my health had stayed, I would still be counseling. But I always wanted to leave my right arm empty so that when I presented and shook hands, this was the first impression. And then this, so I had to ease them into it, So. Yeah, I did nuclear med transcription and regular medical transcription for a number of years up here at the hospital. And I never was, I didn't get a certificate in it. Latin is the same for cows, horses, humans. All the body parts are kind of the same. And so I took the test, and I was faster than the other 14 applicants. And I was also the youngest. I was 23 or 24. And they hired me, and I worked with 50 and 60-year-old women, but we're still friends today. I love them to death. Oh, I don't know. If I was really bright, I would have figured out my ears were screwed up a long time ago. And I wouldn't have had that cow or that bull hit me in the head. Although I will say we served his burgers at the school function, the after party for the FFA. He was tasty. 10 out of 10. And the other bull trained he trained just fine, and he actually grew out to probably have better muscling than the other one. Because when they're young, you look for gaps for growth. You look at bone structure, but you don't really look at how much muscling or meat they have on them at a young age. You look at the potential for growth and conformation. And he actually grew up to be probably the better looking bull. Of course, I I ate the other one, so I don't know what he would have ended up looking like. But I think the other one ended up looking like a much better specimen. So he trained fine and was a docile little baby and showed for 3 years with the FFA group, because that was my senior year that came after me. And they never had a problem out of him. But now, I mean, I used to get Christmas cards from people that I sold horses that I trained to. So I was always really good with animals. So, Denise, bless your heart. I am trying to figure out how to make it subs only that respond. But I mean, look at the population of the world. All the stupid people come to YouTube to be turds. I mean, we created this big thing where we could actually share knowledge and like make everyone super intelligent, super insightful, share our cultures and like blend beliefs and educate. And all we do is naughty things. It's like humanity. We need help. Oh, that would have been so neat. He was a grandmaster. You know something? It's hard work to work. Like if you've got more than two horses, like my grandpa taught me how to harness up a 6-horse team before I was ever in kindergarten, mostly because he didn't want to have to bend over and hurt his back. So I was short enough I could just climb, all through there. And those horses were so well trained, they wouldn't dare hurt me. They just stood rock still, and I always let them know, before I was going, because the horse is blind under its nose down. So I'd always let them know with touch where I was going before I went. And Grandpa taught me how to harness all those up. And my family actually raised Belgian draft mill crosses, and we had some Percheron. I think we might have had one or two shires. But like my uncle had a huge draft farm, and he's got so many ribbons and plaques, and he did a really good job for a long time. He's retired now. But that is a job. I mean, because like you got more than two horses, you got more than two reins, you've got to have big old forearm muscles and strong hands, and you've got to know how to move each finger independently to touch each horse. And a lot of people don't understand the work that goes into that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, I could walk under their bellies and never really even have to crouch. They were huge. And Grandpa taught me how to call them up to the fence. So I'd parallel park them to the fence and I'd jump on them. And I just lay on like I would wedge myself when they're fat in their backs. And I just lay on them while they grazed through the field. And I would just watch the clouds. And then my grandma would run out and freak out because I was on the big Belgian. How did you get up there? Well, I never let my secrets out. Grandpa would just smile because he knew I worked those horses as much as he did. Gosh, I mean, last time I turned taters out with a plow, I was 26, 27, with a blind standard bred mare. It was hard to make her go in straight lines, but she thought she was going in straight lines. She was blind. But we got him turned up. But it was just like, I don't know. So many people don't understand the work that goes into it. So, yeah, it's you got a 6-horse team that takes somebody with some, and that's why I have such big muscles, and because I handle cattle and horses, and I also had sheep too, and it takes a strong person, and really they have a light touch on their mouth, but when you got a 6-horse team, it takes a really strong person because you literally have to trust your lead horse and pray the others fall in line and make sure you know what you're doing, because that could be a wreck really quick. It always amazes me at how well horses can work together. Oh, if you ever have a horse charge you, you just stand sideways to it and cock your head, and then when it gets to you, you circle around it, come at it from its flank like you're a or a predator, like it's a prey animal, and they'll run. They'll run every time because they're like, oh, I can't buffalo this one. She's going to eat me. And they'll run. I'm better. I'm better. I wanted to pop on and let you know I was better. But I'm going to bed. I did stand up. The only thing I got up for today was to make David's dinner. But I did make his dinner. He got his own lunch, but I did make his dinner. And I've got a lot of drainage going on, and I've been doing a lot of the lymphatic rubbing and massages and stuff. And my nurse is going to bring me another shot tomorrow because I'm not strong enough to go to the doctor's office for a 2 or 3 hour visit. I'm not. You can see from my face, I'm still swollen. This side of my face is still swollen. It'll go away when it wants to. Getting kind of used to it. At least maybe if I put makeup on now, you can see all the effort I put into it, because normally I have such hooded eyes, you never see what I put on. But over here, I guess you can see exactly. Maybe it's time for some glitter eyeshadow. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't want to go back into mastoiditis again, because that took like 7.5, 8 months to get over it last time. So I appreciate everybody thinking of me and visiting and sending emails and messages, sending messages through Sabrina. She's been really good to relay everything. And I'm doing better, even though the antibiotic really gets my stomach. I think overall I'm handling it better this time than I did last time. I'm just really weak, and fluid is coming out though, so maybe my ear is going to drain instead of trying to go and turn into meningitis. That freaks me out. That's why I watch myself so closely. And my poor nurse that only is not supposed to work weekends, she's checked on me like 3 times every day. Bless her heart. She's just amazing. But I really appreciate all of you, and maybe that explains a little bit more about what's going on. I know some people have sent some really simple ideas, and I'm like, maybe I need to tell them this is not a simple issue. My ears are basically deformed. I have way too many bones and bone marrow, and the ENT surgeon's like, there's no way I can correct your ears. And that's why when I had mastoiditis last time, it was so hard to get rid of. And that's why we don't want me to have it again, because the ENT surgeon said basically surgically there's nothing I can do to help you. So, man, this eye just will not function. Sorry, I look like I've been in a fight with Mike Tyson. That was me. It made me feel better, so I said it. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to talk to Mary from Retail Therapy on a budget. I'm trying to talk her into like a $30 swap where I shop for her and she shops for me. And so that's maybe coming down the pipeline. Just like funny laughter stuff to make, like to cheer somebody up. It's just funny stuff. So we got some stuff coming down the pipeline. And if I'm able, if the wind's not blowing tomorrow and I feel better, I know that everybody liked the frogs that I video recorded the other day. If it's not super windy, which I don't think it's supposed to be tomorrow, I might try to walk a little bit outside to show you how the strangest things that Tennessee's trying to green up March the 1st. I guarantee you we'll have snow on the ground one more time. I fully believe it. Like I feel it in my bones. So my husband says no, but I swear we had way too many thunderstorms in January, February. I really think we will. Give you the address there. You think I'm an idiot? Oh, I don't know. It's going so fast, Ashley. I don't know. But she's just the sweetest thing. But I sent her an email back and forth, and we've talked about it a couple times, like we should shop for each other. So now, since I'm basically stuck in the bed, I've been like catching up on emails and been like, we should totally do this. So if you're in here, Mary, you got mail. So the weather's just, it's not natural. Y'all know this at this point. If you watch Sabrina's channel, it's just not natural. So, but I'm perking up, so maybe my eye will work tomorrow. That's so freaking funny. I will unswell eventually. This is just part of the RSA. And there you are, Mary. You've got mail. I've been in bed all day, so I've totally caught up on all my emails and sent you more. So you need to reply and let me know what you think about that. Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 70s here again tomorrow as well. I've still got just a little bit of tenderness back here, but not like yesterday. So hoping one more of those big injections with the oral antibiotics should have me better. But I know I will be on the mend when this eye starts to unswell. I look like I've been punched, but it's just my RSD. Leave a cat, you go ahead and rest, honey. You work hard. Okay, so Mary, you've got mail. Thank you everybody for the prayers and thoughts and emails. And no, I don't smoke, vape, do anything. Yeah, RSD is brutal. It is. It needs to be researched. People need to fund it. They need to fund some really big research on it and find something to help people, because I'm getting tired of looking like the elephant man every 3 weeks. And having doctors go, oh well, so it's irritating, but you know, we all have different circumstances, and these are mine. So learn the lesson from them and go on, I guess. That's all you can say. So, now why would I tell the devil what state I'm in? Y'all come in here, y'all such little turds, and I'm retired law enforcement. Do you know the crap I could cause with some of these little messages y'all leave? Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, thank you. I feel like the elephant, especially when my eye does this. I feel really weird. So, okay, Mary, email me. Let me know what you think about that. Uh, don't know if I'll check in tomorrow. If I feel better, I will. No mercy, Mary. That's how I feel right now. No mercy. But I am, like, my ears actively draining, so that makes me feel better. So we'll see how I am in a couple of days. I should perk up in a couple of 3 days. So, boy, Holly, you deserve an award because you've heard things nobody should ever have to hear, and you know that's true. When I would take my parole warrants to the 911 office to have them placed, I would just hang out for a minute and just listen what was going on. And there was some of the craziest things that I heard, and I was just like, man, I could do this job. It's funny. Like, I mean, it's serious at times, but it was freaking hilarious, like 80% of the time. And I would just sit there with the other officers, and they'd be like, just visit for a minute, Liz, just visit. And I would lay my warrants down and just sit for a minute and listen at just the craziness going on. It was just like, whoa, I don't understand humanity. Hi from Savannah, Georgia. Howdy do. Oh yeah, they get picky about, like, if you don't report. Like, there's a time limit for reporting deaths. Did y'all know that? And if you don't report a death in a certain time limit, did you know you can get a charge? So if you're really, like, mentally stomped by the death of a loved one in your home, like, if you don't call to report the death in X amount of minutes, it's probably different for every state, you can get a charge. And I'm just like, okay, that's a new one. That's, you learn these laws and these. There's still some really weird laws on the books, especially in, like, Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama. There's some really strange laws on the books. They're not enforced anymore, but you can still search them out and you can still laugh. You're welcome if you do. It's hilarious. Hi, Ocean Sea. How are you? Yeah, and a lot of them, they go into, like, shock, and so they don't know what to do. But I didn't know that you can legit catch a charge if you don't call it in so many hours. So it's like the government is wedged into everything. So Yeah, the technicalities, they like to catch you on those, don't they? Yeah. Oh, that was most of my career. So yeah, didn't enjoy any of that. Um, we had a guy that was quadriplegic in a souped up quadriplegic wheelchair that would wreck often, and we wouldn't be able to find him. His family would have like all the law and all the issues going out searching for him. So finally, the sheriff's department ordered a satellite camera that fed straight to 911 and put a helmet on this man. And if he was out, he had to wear the camera. And I was there one day, and you could hear him. I was there one day, and he had modified his engine on his wheelchair. Listen, I'm in Podunk, so his brother modified the engine on his wheelchair. He could beat me going down the road when I was going to visit his brother, who was also on supervision. No lie. And they made him wear the camera on the helmet when he would go out so they could keep tabs on him. And I was there one day dropping off warrants, and they said, he's out roaming. He's passed away now, bless his heart. They said, he's out roaming, watch this. They're like, he's going to get in trouble. He was going down a 4-lane bypass. He had to be going 45. Somehow his wheel caught the edge of right off the pavement, and he got it slowed down, but not until he flipped. And so he knew they could hear him. And so we saw pavement, wheel, grass, sky. And then we heard him say, yeah, I'm a quadriplegic, so I don't feel any pain. But if somebody could come tip me back up, I'd appreciate it. I mean, these are things you can't make up. And he got in trouble one day because he was trying to get people to buy him beer at one of the local gas stations. And I thought this was really mean of the judge, but as repercussion, and I think to give the cops a break, they put him in the nursing home for 1 week. I think just to give the cops a break, and they took his chair away from him. They put him in the nursing home for 1 week. And I felt really bad for him because he'd never been really confined like that. But I can also understand how difficult it is to have your whole department have to worry about one man. But let me tell you, he could burn her on out going down the road in that wheelchair. He would sit there, and he sounded like the boy from Shrek when he'd sit at the gas stations. Everybody that passed him, of course, he couldn't move his hands or not. He had a cup with a straw that he could reach. And everybody that passed him, he'd say, buy me a beer, buy me a beer, buy me a beer, buy me a beer. And so I thought, okay, well, I snuck in and parked on the side, and I was going in to get me chicken strips for lunch or something. I don't know. And I walked past him, and he went, buy me a beer. Hey, Miss Liz. And I was like, where do you think you need to be? He goes, probably not here. I said, I think you need to move on. But I bought him a water and put in his mug because he had a 7-mile journey home. And I said, I hope your battery's charged. And I called his brother later to make sure he got home. But listen, I could write a book. I could write a book. And it would make y'all absolutely die laughing. But, I mean, he couldn't feel anything. So I was there one day doing a home visit on his brother, and he was trying to take a tarp off of a car that his brother was working on. And somehow he got the tarp wedged in his wheel, and it flipped his wheelchair. And he's just laying there, and I'm talking to his brother, and we both turn around, and he's now tangled up in the tarp laying in the road. And he's like, a little help would be nice. And I'm like, why did you try to do that on your own? And he's like, I don't like help. And I'm like, you don't have arms or legs. And then he got really sick one time. This is the last story, and I'll shut up and let you go. This is making, if you've got a weak stomach, leave now. But if not, listen. So the brother provided all of his care. And so it's imperative for me to keep the brother out of prison, or the other brother had to go into a hospitalization or nursing home, and I didn't want that. So we worked really hard to keep brother out and straight. And I got there one morning to do an early home visit because they lived right smack downtown. So I was like, I'll just catch this one and then hit it off to the country. And I knocked, and they told me to come in. And he had been sick and had developed bed sores. And so he had a sheet draped so I could be in the room without seeing anything. And I was in the room trying to talk to him, and he had brought him, before he started to clean him and do all the medical care on the bed sores, he had brought him like a grilled cheese. And so then the brother, he goes, "Oh, I don't like the tomato." And so my little Parole was like, he took the gloves back off, grabbed the plate, and pried that grilled cheese up and put a tomato on it, stuck her back together, and he cut it up into chunks then at that point and stuck it under him so he could just pick it with his mouth and eat it. And he put his gloves back on. And then the brother goes, "Well, I'd like a little bit of salt too." And I will never forget this because the brother had such an accent. He held his gloved hands up and he goes, "Brother, I am cleaning your ass. What more can you ask of me?" And I thought, I need to get out of here as quickly as possible. Because they were, I don't know, it was like the Three Stooges minus one, but they were, I mean, I couldn't leave without laughing. And they knew that they were being silly. And, they were bad decision makers, but not bad people. Like most people in prison are bad decision makers, but they're not bad people. They just repeatedly make bad decisions. I really enjoyed both of them immensely. I know that's probably horrible to say. I mean, they made me laugh on days I probably would have cried. And so, but I just remember that, and I just remember him sticking them hands up. "Brother, I am cleaning your ass." And I thought, well, he can't feel what you're doing. He doesn't know what I went and got the salt and put some salt. But those two they were hoots. I adored both of them. He sadly has passed on. Every once in a while, the brother pop up and say howdy, and I'm like, "Oh, you're still kicking. Hey." So, well, he just had a really bumpkin accent. It was just a really podunk accent. I have a really podunk accent, but he had a really podunk accent. Like he had a dog named Daisy, and he called her Daisy. I was just like, "Daisy, Daisy." He had a 6-day hold. I put him in a 6-day hold one time because of behavior. I still went by and fed his dog every evening. I was a nice officer. I mean, I was a nice officer. I still went by and fed Daisy every evening. And she was like, "Oh, yay, it's you. You're going to feed me." So I could write a book. Oh, Lord. But I'm sure some of y'all got a kick out of that. So that'd be my funny story for the day. I have so many, but it's just you used to have to, they only hit me at certain times when something will make me remember. So, they were characters. I mean, you couldn't have wrote a book and created a better character. It was, and he thought he was such a little chameleon of a criminal. And I'm like, "You do know that you're not very good at this." And he was like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "It's time to make some changes." "Well, yeah." Oh, Lord. Well, that's a fact I never knew I would need in my brain, but now it's stuck there for life. Holly, be careful because I can't delete files when they get in there, so they're stuck for life. Okay, well, I'm going to shut up because I'm getting tired and weak again. I'm going to go back to bed, but I do feel better. I'm glad I got to come on here and check in, and y'all made me laugh, and I made y'all laugh. So hopefully tomorrow, my Mike Tyson and I will be gone. And if when this starts to unswell, I'll know that we're really doing a lot better. So toss up some more good energy and prayers for me. And if it unswells, I've got a makeup look I'm wanting to try because I don't do makeup, and I think it'd be flipping hilarious what it ends up looking like. It'd be mostly a gag reel. But when this goes away, we'll try a makeup look, and I know it's going to be hilarious because I know I'm not competent in makeup, but I'll try. If it makes you laugh, I'll try. Do you know where I got my makeup? I got it at Don't You Got It, eh? They have a clearance section. Okay, that's my last dig for the night. I'm going to go to bed. I love you guys. Thanks for the prayers, messages, emails. Thanks for my mods popping in. Love you guys. We'll see who I battle tonight, or if my eye unswells. You know, it'd be nicer if I could actually just like say somebody punched me, but this is just from the swelling in my head. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. So I'm going to bed. Oscar's already there. Good night, everybody. Love yous. See yous later. Go check on Sabrina's videos. Fill your head with wrinkles.